Hi, this is Lakshmana Swamy. I am a chartered accountant and a cost accountant. I have been working in SAP since 8 years. As of now, I am working as a senior FSCO consultant, being in support project. And I had a domain experience of 13 years and SAP experience 8 years. So my total career experience is 21 years. So in this class, I am going to explain you what is ERP, what is SAP and why SAP, right? See, SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. This is the amplification for the word SAP. So this SAP is called an ERP package or ERP software. Before going to understand what is SAP, first we have to understand the concept of ERP. So again, ERP stands for Enterprise Resources Planning. Any business organization is called enterprise. Then every enterprise, while doing the business, they use some resources like number one, men, materials, machines and money. So these are called 4 M's and these are not plentifully available to any business organization. Now, you take any business enterprise, the main objective is to earn maximum profits. It's not just earning the profits, earning maximum profits. For this purpose, every business enterprise will have only two alternatives. One is, in order to increase the profits, we have to increase the sales. Again, to increase the sales, we have to increase the production. Again, to increase the production, we have to increase the utilization of these 4 resources, but these are not plentifully available. Then, as a result, there is the limitation to the organization's capacity to go on increasing the profits beyond a certain point. So the first alternative is not compatible for the organizational objective maximization of the profits. Then what is the second alternative? You take any business enterprise, whether large or small, they will have some amount of these resources. So whatever the amount of resources they are having, they have to use them in the most effective manner. So in this particular context, the concept of planning will come into existence. So enterprise resources planning means planning for the effective utilization of available resources of the company to maximize the profits. Here, the most important wording is planning for the effective utilization of available resources of the company, because we cannot increase the availability of the resources. So whatever the resources we are having, we have to use them in the most effective manner so that the profits are maximized. Simply saying, that is the concept of ERP. Here, ERP covers all the techniques and concepts for the best utilization of the resources of the enterprise to maximize the profits. And every ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the enterprise. So what is the integrated management? This I will explain you within the next few minutes. What is the integrated management? Now, I will explain you now how the concept of ERP helps the business enterprises to maximize the profits. Before that, we should understand what are the problems that are faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. See, for example, you take, this is the organization, and in the organization, we have many departments like finance and accounts, marketing, sales, production planning and control, production, HR, and purchase. Like that, we have many departments in the company. Every department has to work towards the achievement of organizational goal, that is maximizes the profits. During this process, every department will have their own goals and objectives. The goals and objectives of the individual departments are to be synchronized with the organizational objective, maximizing the profits. Now we will see what happens during this process. Suppose you take the finance and accounts department. Its main objective is to generate the maximum rate of return on the investment. Investment means here shareholders' investment. For this purpose, the finance department wants to reduce the expenditure wherever it is possible. So by reducing the expenditure, the finance department wants to increase the profits. Now you take marketing department. Its main objective is to generate the market for the organization's products so that the sales are increased and profits are increased. For this purpose, this marketing department always wants to conduct some advertising activities or some sales promotion activities which involves spending of funds. Now you observe here, the finance department and marketing department, both the departments are trying to maximize the profits, but the way in which they are trying is different. Means the finance department is trying to maximize the profits by reducing the expenditure. At the same time, the marketing department is also trying to maximize the profits, but by incurring some additional expenditure in the form of advertising activities and sales promotion activities. This leads to the conflict between finance department and marketing department. Even though both the departments are trying to maximize the profits, both the departments are pulling the organization in the different directions. It leads to the conflict between finance department and marketing department. Now, I will give you one more example. You take the production planning and control department. Generally, this planning department wants to maintain minimum stocks of the materials in order to minimize the carrying cost. Here, stock of the materials include stock of raw materials, stock of finished goods, stock of work in progress, stock of stores and spares, packing materials, etc. etc. So here, this planning department wants to maintain minimum stocks of the materials as far as possible in order to reduce the carrying cost. So what is the carrying cost? If you have to maintain the stock of the materials, we have to lock up some working capital. And generally every company will borrow the working capital from the banks on which they have to pay interest to the bankers. So interest is one aspect of the carrying cost. Then we have to pay for the wages and salaries of the people working in the warehouse, and we have to pay for the rent of the warehouse premises. So all these expenses coming together is called carrying cost. In order to minimize the carrying cost, this planning department wants to maintain the minimum stocks of the materials. But at the same time, the production department wants to have the optimum stock of the materials so that their production is not disturbed due to want of materials. So if you observe, there exists again the conflict between planning department and production department. Like that, there exist a number of conflicts among the departments in the organization. So in order to see that the organization works on a smooth way, the top management has to bring the coordination among these departments. That's why they have to spend a lot of its time and effort in bringing the coordination among these departments. But as a top management, they have to concentrate always on the performance analysis and the strategic decision making process. But due to the fact that they have to bring the coordination among these departments, they don't have the sufficient time to spend on performance analysis and the strategic decision making process. This is the biggest problem faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. Now, I will give you one more example. Here, in order to increase the profits of the company, every department has to perform their functions in the most efficient and effective manner. For that purpose, every department needs some information from the other departments. See, for example, you take production planning and control department. Its daily function is to prepare the production schedule. So what is the production schedule? Just chalking out a plan when to start the production, in how much quantity it has to be produced, and by which date it has to be completed. So simply saying, this is called production schedule. In order to prepare the production schedule, this production department has to get the information from the sales department, that is the date of delivery required by the customer. So if the production department is having the information of date of delivery required by the customer, accordingly it will prepare the schedule. So what you have to understand here is, the production department is depending on sales department for the information purpose. Now, you take purchase department. Its main daily function is to procure the raw materials required in the production department. So, the purchase department is depending on production department for the information purpose for the performance of its daily functions. Now, you take accounts department. Its main function is to account for all the expenses and incomes which are taking place in every department. So, this accounts department is depending on all other departments for the information purpose for the performance of its accounting function. Like that, every department is depending on other departments for the information purpose. Now, in order to enable these departments to perform their functions effectively, we should ensure that there is the uninterrupted flow of information among all the departments, which is not there in the non-ERP environment. Even though every department is computerized, that computerization is limited to the boundaries of that particular department. Means this production department is using one software manufactured by some X company. Then purchase is using one software manufactured by some Z company. Accounts is using another software manufactured by Y company. Sales department is using another software manufactured by some A company. Like that, every department is using the softwares manufactured by different companies. As a result, we cannot integrate one software of the department with the software of other departments. That is why every department has to waste the time in getting the information from the other departments. Means every department has to wait for some time for getting the information from the other departments. So we are wasting our time. As a result, the production cycle time will be very long. So production cycle time means what? Time taken from the start of procurement of materials till you realize the finished goods into cash resources. This is called production cycle time. The working capital requirements of any company are based on the length of the production cycle. If the length of the production cycle is very high, we require a lot of working capital. If you require a lot of working capital, what happens? We have to pay interest. So the interest burden will be there on the profitability of the company. That's why the organizations cannot maximize the profits. This is another problem faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. Now I will give you one more example. See, you take the purchase department. When the purchase department procures the materials from the supplier, it receives the invoice. That purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department once in terms of quantities. Then the same invoice is sent to the accounts department, wherein it is recorded again in terms of values. As a finance department, we are always concerned with the values. Means we have to post the accounting entries in the books of accounts. So here what is happening? Single purchase invoice is recorded 2 times. Once in the purchase department and again in the finance and accounts department. This is called duplication of work. So here we are paying the salaries to the people in the purchase department and again to the people in the accounts department, but both the people are performing the same work. It leads to money wastage. So if the companies waste their money like this, how can they maximize their profits? Absolutely no. Then finally, I will give you one more example. Here you have the middle level management and top level management. Always the top level managers have to take the effective decisions, because the efficiency of any organization depends upon the quality of the decisions taken by the top level management. See, in order to enable these top level managers to take the effective decisions, we should provide the right information in right time. I will give you an example. We have the general manager finance. For a particular decision making purpose, he wants to know what is the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. In that case, the purchase department will give one figure and the finance and accounts department will give another figure. This is called mismatching of information. Why both the departments will give the different figures? Because your purchase department is in Washington and accounts department is in New York. So each and every individual invoice received by the purchase department cannot be sent immediately to accounts department in New York. This purchase department will bundle together some invoices, and those invoices are sent to the accounts department once in 2 days, once in 3 days, based on their convenience. This is called time lag. Due to the time lag, there is the difference of information given by purchase department and accounts department. As a result, the general manager finance totally gets confused. What is the information he should use for his decision making purpose? Means he is not provided with the right information right time. So he may not be able to take the optimum decisions and the profits may not be optimized. That is how there are many problems faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. So in this particular scenario, the concept of ERP has been developed. As I told you, every ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the enterprise. So how the integration is achieved? Under the concept of ERP, we maintain one common database or the central database. This common database or central database is given access to every department in the organization subject to some restrictions. Why we have to maintain the restrictions here? The reason is very simple. Here, our main intention is to provide the information to every department to the extent it is required. At the same time, we have to ensure the security of the data of the other departments. That is why we have to maintain the restrictions regarding the access to the data. Okay, fine. Now let us assume that we are maintaining the common database. Now I will explain you how the previously discussed disadvantages are going to be eliminated. Now you take the information requirement of you take the information requirement of production planning and control department. It requires the date of delivery required by the customer, which is available in the sales department. So how that information is readily made available? Whenever the salesperson accepts the order from a customer, he prepares one document which is called sales order. So the sales order contains the information like name of the customer, his contact information, his address, the product for which he is giving the order, the quantity, the price, the quality particulars, and also the date of delivery required by him. All that information is contained in the sales order. Then the salesperson will enter the sales order into common database. Then the person in the production planning and control department responsible to prepare the production schedule will be given access to that sales order. Then this production planning clerk will just log in into common database. From the common database, he will retrieve the sales order. From the sales order, he can identify the date of delivery required by the customer, and accordingly, he will prepare the schedule. Wherever may be your production planning and control department, wherever may be your sales department, the information required by production planning and control department clerk is readily made available. Now, you take the information requirement of purchase department. Every time the purchase department requires the raw materials required, the purchase department always requires the information of raw materials required in the production department. So how that information is readily made available? I will tell you. Here, whenever any material is required in the production department, the production clerk will prepare one document which is called material requisition. The material requisition contains the details of the materials required and the quantity required. That is entered into common database by the production clerk. And here we have the warehouse department. So the warehouse department clerk will access the material requisition from the database. Then from the material requisition, he will identify the details of the materials required, and accordingly he will issue the material to production. This is the case when the material is available in the warehouse. Suppose if the material is not available in the warehouse, then the warehouse clerk will prepare another document which is called purchase requisition. The purchase requisition is entered into common database by the warehouse clerk. So the purchase requisition contains the details of the materials required to be purchased and the quantities required to be purchased. All this information is contained in the purchase requisition. Then the purchase clerk will just log in into common database and he will retrieve the purchase requisition from where he can find the details of the materials required to be purchased, and accordingly he will start procurement activities. That is how the information required by every department is readily made available from the other departments. As a result, time wastage is eliminated. Means your production cycle time is minimized. As a result, the working capital requirements will be minimized. Again, the burden of the interest on working capital on the profits are also minimized. As a result, the profits are maximized. Now, I will tell you how the duplication of work is eliminated. When the purchase department receives the invoice, that is entered into common database by the purchase clerk. Then automatically the system will post the entries in the books of accounts department. How? This is the training what I am going to give you in the classes. So there is no need to send the same invoice again to accounts department. That's how duplication of work is eliminated. As a result, we can use the available human resources in the most productive manner, which leads to maximization of the profits. Now, let us see how the General Manager Finance is provided with the right information. Whenever the General Manager Finance requires the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today, he will just log in into common database. He need not ask any person any information in the organization. He can just log on into common database. From there, he will find out the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. Because whenever the purchase invoice is entered by the purchase clerk into common database, the software will update all the relevant information or all the relevant data. That is total amount of purchases, inventories of respective materials, and the account balance of respective suppliers. So all the relevant data is automatically updated by the system. That is why by just logging into the common database, the GM Finance will be provided with the right information in right time. As a result, he can take the optimum decisions and the profits of the enterprise are automatically optimized. This is how the concept of ERP helps the business enterprises to maximize the profits. So in short or in nutshell, how the ERP helps, or you can say these are the advantages and features of the ERPs. All the data is available in the common database or the central database. It eliminates the data redundancy, means data duplication is eliminated. How the data duplication is eliminated, already I have explained you. Then data is updated and available in real time. Then one point of entry of data, means in the case of ERPs, whenever the companies are using the ERPs, the data is entered at one point of the organization. Then automatically it will update the other relevant points of the organization. How? I will explain you again. See, of course, that's why here what happened is when you have entered the invoice in the purchase department, it has updated the inventories of materials and also the accounting balances of the respective vendors in the accounts department. That is the advantage of one point entry of data. Then best business practices inbuilt. Every ERP has been developed after carrying on a lot of research on the business practices of different industries. So whatever the business practices that are considered as best, the ERP companies have incorporated these best business practices in their ERP products. So when you start using that ERP product, you can also adopt those best business practices and thereby you can also get the advantage. This is another advantage. Then modular system. Modular system means component system. Within the same ERP product, separate softwares are available to manage different departments in the company. For managing the finance department, we have the separate software within the same ERP product. For managing the sales department, HR department, purchase department, we have the separate softwares available within the same ERP product. That is called modular system. Then can implement only required functions. It is not necessary to use the ERP product in all the departments of the company. Suppose if your company management wants, they can use the ERP product in the finance department, marketing department, and production department. This is quite possible. That is the meaning of can implement only in required functions. Then others can easily be integrated later. Means here our management has introduced using the ERP in the finance department, sales department, and production department this year. So after using the ERP for 1 year, the management has been very much satisfied with the results. Now they want to extend the use of the ERP product into purchase department, warehouse department, and HR department. This is quite possible. And also the softwares of these three departments can be integrated with the softwares of the departments in which you are already using. This is another advantage. Then managers can utilize their time in analysis and spend less time in coordination effort. This is the very, very important advantage of an ERP. So SAP is such a ERP product. SAP is such a ERP product. Along with SAP, we have many other ERP products like Oracle, Bond, PeopleSoft, etc. etc. If you take Oracle, it is specialized in the management of finance department of the company. And if you take Bond, it is specialized in the management of production department of the company. And if you take PeopleSoft, it is specialized in the management of HR department of the company. Like that, different ERP products are specialized in the management of one or two departments of the company. But if you take SAP, it provides the solutions for the effective management of every department in the organization, and the level of integration you can achieve with the help of SAP is very high when compared to the level of integration you can achieve with the help of other ERP products. Because of these two reasons, SAP is the world #1 ERP product. SAP is the world #1 ERP product because of these two reasons only. As on today, SAP is enjoying nearly 48% of I'm just telling you the nearly. So SAP is enjoying nearly 48% of the market share internationally. And the remaining 52% is enjoyed by all other ERP products together. That is why we have the lot of employment opportunities only in case of SAP. And this SAP ERP product was developed by a company which is called SAP AG, SAP.AG. It is a German company. Here, AG stands for AGAY, AGAY. See, it's a German word. Its English meaning is limited. See, every company which is registered under Indian Companies Act, they have to add a word either limited or private limited at the end of its name. Similarly, every company which is registered under US Companies Act, they have to add a word .inc or LLC, limited liability company. Like that, every company which is doing business in Germany and which is registered under the German Companies Act, they have to add a word .ag, nothing else. So this is the name of the company, SAP.ag. This company was established in 1972. It is a German company and its headquarters are at Waldorf, Germany. So this is the brief history of the SAP company. So before proceeding further, let us go back to the amplification of SAP. Here I told you that SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. Let us try to understand something more deep into this amplification. See here, data processing. What is the data processing? Before that, what is the data? See, simply saying, data is the collection of facts and figures. Data is collection of facts and figures. As simple as that. See, for example, in our company, in this month, we have produced 1 lakh number of units of a product and we have the 100 workers. This is called data. And these are called data elements. Now, in this month, the production manager wants to know what is the performance of worker. He wants to know whether our workers have performed efficiently or inefficiently. For that purpose, these two data elements are giving any clue to him. We have produced 1 lakh number of units. Then we have 100 workers. So what? What is the conclusion you are able to arrive? No conclusion. That is why we have to process the data. So processing means what? Executing a set of operations on the data elements. Executing set of operations on the data elements. Operations means here it may be arithmetic operations or algebraic operations or the rearrangement of the existing data elements is called processing. As simple as that. Now, for example, what I am doing is I am executing a simple division operation between these two data elements. Means I am dividing the total production with 100 workers. The result is 100 units per worker. This is called average production. And this 100 units per worker is called information. So information is always the result of data processing. So how this information is available or how this information is useful to the production manager to decide whether our workers have worked efficiently or inefficiently. See here, the actual production is 1000 units per worker. This is called actual productivity. In the real-time companies, for every performance indicator, there are standard figures. For example, in this month, the standard productivity per worker is 1005 units. 1005 units. This should be the standard productivity. On an average, every worker should have to produce 1005 units. But what is the actual productivity? 1000. So the actual productivity is less than the standard productivity. Now we decide that we have worked inefficiently or our workers have worked inefficiently. So what are the reasons for this inefficiency? These reasons are analyzed by the management. See, for example, during the analysis, the management found that in the production process, inferior materials were used. As a result, there were frequent breakdowns in the production process. So we have to reset up the production process. That's why we have lost some time. That is why there is the reduction in the actual productivity. If this is the reason, the management has to take the disciplinary action against the people in the purchase department who are responsible for the procurement of inferior raw materials. That's how they can fix the responsibility. They can take the corrective action or they can take the disciplinary action. Okay, fine. Let us assume that the quality of the materials are up to the standards. There was no any problem in the materials quality. But another reason they found is some of the skilled workers have left your organization in this month. And the management has been noticing the same trend since 3 months. Every month, some of the workers are leaving your organization. Obviously, if the skilled workers leave your organization, what happens? Production quantity will come down. So if this is the reason for your fall in the production, the management has to reconsider their employee policies. Why the people are leaving my organization? Where is the problem? What are the remedies we have to introduce in our organization? Whether we have to increase the fringe benefits of the workers, fringe benefits means real wages, or whether we have to improve the working conditions of our workers in the organization. That's how they have to reconsider their employee policies. See, just one piece of information, that is actual productivity is giving how many number of avenues to the management to analyze the performance. So this information is made available through data processing. So here SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. You know the meaning of data processing. Systems means it refers to some hardware requirements. It refers to some hardware requirements. Then applications. Applications means softwares or programs. So, and some products. So here SAP stands for some hardware requirements and some programs or softwares and the products which can be used by the management or which can be used by the companies in their data processing needs to get the effective information. This is exactly the real meaning of SAP. Right? So this SAP software was developed by a company, as I told you, SAP AG. Now I hope it's clear to you what is SAP and all these things. Now let us see the evaluation of the product. In 1972, the SAP company has developed a product which is called SAP R1 suite. In 1980s, it has developed a product known as SAP R2 suite, and in 1990s, the SAP company has developed a product known as SAP R3 suite. This is the name of the product what we are using now. The other two products are totally outdated. And the current version of this SAP R3 suite is ECC 6.0, which stands for ERP Central Component. So on this version only, I am going to provide you the training. See, let us try to understand the nature of this SAP R3 product. Now you know the meaning of SAP, right? Then suite. The dictionary meaning of the suite is combination of some objects. Combination of some objects. So with reference to SAP, it is the combination of the softwares which are used for the management of different departments in the company. That's why the SAP company has incorporated the word suite in the name of its product. Now coming to R3. This is very, very important. It totally conveys the nature of the product. Now, R stands for real-time data processing. Real-time data processing means what? Whenever you perform an operation on the data elements, the related database is instantly updated. Instantly implies something faster than immediate. I will give you an example. You take bank ATM. Whenever you draw money from the bank ATM, your updated statement is immediately given to you. Why? It's working on the principles of real-time data processing. Suppose you draw $5,000, right? Within the time you count the $5,000, you are getting back your printout of your updated statement. This is because of this real-time data processing concept. Like that, railway reservation systems, flight reservation systems, for that matter, every facility you are enjoying in your daily life is the result of this real-time data processing concept. So SAP also uses the same real-time data processing concept. That is why when you have entered the purchase invoice in the purchase department, it is updating the inventories of materials and the account balance of the suppliers in the accounts department. That is the use of this real-time data processing concept. So SAP also uses the same real-time data processing concept. That's why it has incorporated the letter R in the name of its product. That is the meaning of R. Now, 3. 3 stands for 3-tier architecture. It refers to the levels of hardware setup you require to work with SAP software. What are the levels of hardware setup? Here, not only SAP, every ERP, they use the client-server technology. Client-server technology means what? Here, we have some servers and we have some clients. So, what is the meaning of client and server? From the hardware perspective, clients and servers both are hardware systems only, or both are computer systems only. But the servers are with large storage capacity and the clients are with small storage capacity. Under the 3-tier architecture, we have 3 types of servers. Number 1, database server layer. Number 2, application server layer, client or presentation server layer. So what is the meaning of database server layer? Database server means it is the server or the computer system in which the database of the company or the organization is stored or hosted or kept. So what does the database contains here? The business transactions incurred and posted every day. All these business transactions are stored in the database server. So when you have the concept of database, there comes the question of database management. Who is responsible to manage the database? As a SAP professionals, we are not in any way concerned with the database management. There are separate professionals like database managers, database administrators who will look after the management of this database. And the database is managed on the principles of RDBMS, Relational Database Management Systems. So there are hundreds of RDBMS tools available in the market like SQL Server, Oracle, DB2, Informix. Like that, we have the hundreds of RDBMS tools available in the market. So based on the budget of the client company, they can go for any of the RDBMS tools. In most of the cases, Oracle is preferred. So that is the thing regarding database server. Then second layer is application server. APS means application server. So application server means it is the server in which the SAP software is hosted, or it is the computer system in which the SAP software is hosted. The SAP software will contain the processing logic or the programming code necessary to process the business transactions. All the programming code is contained in the application servers. Here we have the application server 1, application server 2, application server 3. Like that, we have to have some number of application servers. Why? If you have only one application server and every employee in the organization will be using the same application server to process its transactions. As a result, the load on that particular server will be very high. Again, it will take a lot of processing time. Again, we are going to waste your time. That is why we have to have some optimum number of application servers. How many and who will decide? I will tell you within next few minutes. So that is the thing regarding application server. Then client. The third layer is client server. Client systems means these are the desktops or laptops used by the employees of the company to access the application servers and to process their business transactions, etc., etc. So these are called client servers or client systems, or all the client systems together is called client server layer. So here, if you observe, this is one layer, this is second layer, and this is third layer. That's why this is called three-tier architecture. Now, I have presented this in the more refined manner. See, these are the client systems or the laptops or desktops used by the employees. Different client systems are connected to different application servers, and all the application servers are connected to database server. And this database server is this database server is managed on relational database management systems. This is one layer, this is second layer, and this is the third layer. That's why this is called three-tier architecture. Nowadays, we are using only the three-tier architecture because the advantage of this three-tier architecture is we can increase or decrease the size of any layer without disturbing the size of other layers. Means, suppose for example, today we have recruited some 5 employees in the finance department. So all these 5 employees are to be provided with the desktops, which are called client systems. So these 5 client systems can be accommodated either in the application server 1 or application server 2 or application server 3. You need not increase the number of application servers again. That is the advantage of this three-tier architecture. Now coming to R2. R2 means two-tier architecture. In the two-tier architecture, both the database and SAP software or SAP application are hosted within the same computer system. So that becomes one layer. The database layer and application layer in the previous structure will be available in the same server. Means they become only one layer and the clients are another layer. That's why this is called two-tier architecture. R1 means single tier. R1 means single tier. Single tier means within the same computer system, database is there, SAP software is there, and the client program is also there. That's why this is called R1. And remember that R1 and R2 are totally outdated. We are using only R3. So this is the technical background of this SAP software. I hope it's very much clear to you till now. Now let us proceed further. I told you the name of the product what we are using is SAP R3. See, SAP company has developed a number of products, nearly 60 plus products the SAP company has developed. Out of all the products, SAP R3 is very famous product and very widely used product. Other products are, CRM, SRM, BIBW. Like that, SAP has developed a number of products. Of all the products, SAP R3 is the very demanded product and a very famous product. So under this product, basically we have the 2 modules. Number 1, functional modules. Number 2, technical modules. See, under the functional modules, we have the financial accounting and controlling, which is simply called FICO. We have the materials management, which is simply called MM. Sales and distribution, SD. Human resources management, HR. Quality management, QM. Plant maintenance, PM. Project systems, PS. Production planning and control, PPC. Real estate management, REM. Workflow. Then again we have the treasury management, travel management, FSCM, financial supply chain management. Because of the space problem, I did not include all these modules on the functional side. So here each module itself is a fully developed software, and each module is used to manage one department in the company. For example, you take FICO software. This is used to manage the finance department in the company. You take materials management. It is used to manage the purchase department, and SD is for managing the sales department, like that. So each module itself is used to manage one department in the company, and each module itself is a fully developed software, and all these softwares are developed by the same SAP company. As a result, one software can be integrated with the other software. But in the case of non-ERP, what was there? Every department using different softwares manufactured by different companies. As a result, we could not integrate one software with the other softwares. But here, what is happening? All these softwares are developed by same SAP company. So one software can be integrated with the software of other departments. As a result of integration, there is the free flow of information among the departments. That is the difference between ERP and non-ERP. I hope it is clear to you. So each module itself is a fully developed software. Software means there should be a language in which all these softwares have been developed. That language is ABAP. It is the first technical module of SAP. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language. This is the amplification for the word ABAP. 4 means it denotes that ABAP is the 4th generation language. For that matter, every programming language nowadays we are using is the 4th generation language only. Then we have the second technical module, BASIS, which stands for Business Application Software Integrated Systems. So here, this is just like that the operating system of SAP AG company. BASIS is the, you can think that BASIS is the own operating system of SAP AG company. So in order to use all the previous softwares, we have to have this BASIS operating system installed in our servers. Now, if you want to learn ABAP, you have to have the programming knowledge. And if you want to learn BASIS, you have to have the networking knowledge, and you should have the good understanding of one of the operating systems. But if you want to learn any of the functional modules, it is enough if you have the understanding of the relevant academic subjects, or if you have the working knowledge in the relevant departments. You need not write any programming. For learning the functional modules, you need not know any programming knowledge, right? So here, if you learn any of the functional modules, you get a job as functional consultant. And if you learn technical modules, you get a job as technical consultant. More particularly, if you learn FICO module, you get a job as FICO consultant. If you learn MM module, you get a job as MM consultant. If you learn SD module, you get a job as SD consultant. So as a consultant, what we have to do? What are the functions of the consultant? I will give you an example. Here, as far as the ERP products are concerned, there are 2 roles. One is end user role, or you can say end user job. The other one is consultant role or the consultant job. End user means who? Suppose, for example, I am working as a manager finance in the LG company. So LG company is using SAP software. So I am working as a manager finance in LG company. I am called end user. So as a manager finance, every day I have to generate some reports for which I have to access some information. After generating the reports, I have to analyze the reports. Based on the analysis, I have to take some decisions. And I have to generate some more reports. These reports I have to submit to my Vice President Finance. This is called end user job. Now, here you take accountant. The accountant is called end user. The accountant has to post the transactions every day. And at the end of the day, based on the transactions he has posted, he has to generate some reports. These reports he has to submit to his next higher level employee. These are called end user jobs. So in order to enable these end users, to perform these activities daily, already some settings should have been done in the FICO software. These settings are done by consultant, particularly FICO consultant. So in the general sense, the job of the FICO consultant is to do the settings in the FICO software so that the end users of the finance department and accounts department of the client company can use the SAP software. This is technically called configuration and customization. So the job of the FICO consultant is to configure and customize the SAP FICO software to meet the requirements of the finance and accounts departments of the client companies. This is the job of the FICO consultant. So what is the requirement of the finance and accounts department of any company? They have to prepare. The finance department and accounts department has to prepare the financial statements, that is profit and loss account and balance sheet, and funds flow, cash flow statements, according to the legal requirements of the country in which they are doing the business. For that purpose, the FICO consultant has to do the settings, which is technically called configuration and customization. So here our module is FICO module. So FICO module is very highly demanded module and a very highly paid module. See, FICO is the combination of two modules actually. Number one, financial accounting, which stands for FI. Number two, CO, which stands for controlling, nothing but your cost accounting. So using this FI component, this is used to prepare the financial statements according to the legal requirements of the respective countries. These are called legal financial statements, and it is also called external reporting tool, because after preparing the financial statements, that is profit loss account and balance sheet, we have to submit these financial statements to the register of companies, stock exchange commissions. Then if you have taken any term loans from the banks, we have to submit the financial statements to the banks, and we have to submit the financial statements to the tax authorities, federal tax authorities and state tax authorities. So all these authorities are external to our company. That's why this FI is called external reporting tool. So in order to enable the companies to prepare their financial statements, and one more thing, the FI consultant has to do the configuration and customization in the FI software so that the financial statements are prepared as and when they are required. During the process of configuration and customization, every aspect of the accounting management is effectively taken care, and every aspect of the financial management is effectively taken care. How? I will show you in the classes. Now, for the purpose of preparing the financial statements, we have some other sub-modules in FI module. Number one, general ledger accounting. This general ledger accounting also includes new GL. In the current version of SAP ECC 6.0, the SAP company has developed three more functions, which are called parallel ledgers, document splitting, and segmental reporting. These three functions together is called new general ledger. So I am going to cover this new general ledger functions also in our training classes. Then accounts payable, which is used to manage your supplier accounts. Then accounts receivable, which is used to manage your customer accounts. Then asset accounting, which is used to manage your fixed assets, and treasury management. And here I am going to cover only the cash management as far as treasury management is concerned. So because the treasury management is not part of FI. It is separate module like FI. But in treasury management, we have the risk management, portfolio management, funds management, cash management. But cash management is linked with the FI. That's why I am going to cover the cash management in FI module itself. And within every module, we have the number of topics. It's not right time to discuss all these topics. I will send you the content separately. What are the topics I'm going to cover in our training classes? It contains nearly 7 pages of content is there. I will send you the content. If you mail me, I will send you the content to your mail. So after covering all these 5 modules, I will show you how to prepare the financial statements. Now, for learning the FI module, what is the level of accounting knowledge you have to have? Very basic understanding, remember. What is the basic understanding? Here, in accounting, you have the 3 types of accounts: personal accounts, real accounts, and nominal accounts. And what is to be debited and what is to be credited according to personal accounts, real accounts or nominal accounts, that itself is enough. I'm not exaggerating the things. So if you know how to post the accounting entries, you can learn FI. And everything else is automatically taken care by the system. But sometimes you may be from non-accounting background. In that case, to make you comfortable with the accounting concepts, I have prepared nearly 60 slides on the accounting knowledge. I will send you all the 60 slides. So it takes only 2-3 days to go through these 60 slides and gain the accounting knowledge. So what are those slides? I will show you at the end of this class. So after completing FI, we have the controlling. Controlling means CO. CO means controlling. Nothing but your cost accounting. So what is the purpose of the controlling here? The main purpose of the controlling is to provide the information to the middle level management necessary for them for the performance analysis and to the top management necessary for them for taking the strategic decisions. Here we have the middle level management, which comprises departmental heads. At the end of every month, the departmental heads, they want to analyze the performance of their departments, and also sometimes they have to take some decisions. For both the purposes, they need the information. That information is completely provided by the controlling component. Similarly, we have the top management. The top management has to take always the strategic decisions. Strategic decisions means the decisions which have the long-term impact on the profitability of the company. They are called strategic decisions. I will give you an example. Here we are producing 3 products. Product number 1, product number 2, product number 3. This example is to make you understand the importance of controlling. We are having 3 products. This year the management wants to increase the production capacity of particular product. It has to take a decision to increase the production capacity of which product, whether product number 1 or product number 2 or product number 3. For taking this decision, it requires the information like whether we have the sufficient demand, or whether we have the sufficient sales force, whether we have the sufficient additional production facilities. All this information is available. We have the additional production facilities to increase the production of any product. We have the sufficient demand for the absorption of increased production of any product, and we have the sufficient sales force to push up the increased production of any product into the market. All the information is available. Apart from the most important information the top management requires is the profit contributed by each of the product. If the management knows what is the profit contributed by product number 1, 2 and 3 individually, they can go for increasing the production of that product which is earning more profits to your company. For this purpose, we cannot use the profit and loss account which is prepared in FI, because the profit and loss account will display the profits for the organization as a whole. In the profit and loss account, we cannot bifurcate profit for product 1, profit for product 2, profit for product 3. Like that we cannot bifurcate. For that purpose, we have to depend on controlling component only. So in the controlling component, there is one sub-module which is called profit center accounting. Using the profit center accounting, you can bifurcate the profits according to products or product lines. How? In the training we will see. That is the importance of the controlling. So in the controlling also, we have the different sub-modules. Number 1, cost element accounting, cost center accounting, internal order accounting, profitability analysis, profit center accounting, and product costing. And all these 6 sub-modules we are going to cover extensively. Within each submodule, we have the number of topics. As I told you, I will send you the total content of FI and CO to your mail. For that, you just have to mail me. That's it. What is mail ID? I will give you at the end of the session. Now, after covering these 6 submodules, we have the other advanced topics like integration of financial accounting with the metals management, which is called simply integration of MM with FI. Here I told you in the beginning of the class, when you enter the purchase invoice in the purchase department, it will post the accounting entries in the books of accounts. For that purpose, we need to connect, means technically we need to integrate FI component with MM component. This is called integration. For this purpose, we need to do some common settings in both the modules. What are those settings? I will show you, which is called integration of financial accounting with the materials management. Then integration of financial accounting with sales and distribution. Then after that, closing procedures. After preparing the financial statements, we have to carry forward the current year's GL account balances, vendor account balances, customer account balances, asset account balances to the next year. All these activities together is called closing procedures. So what are the closing procedures we have to follow? This is also dealt in our class. Then tips on ABAP and basis. Here in the real time, every FI consultant has to interact with ABAP consultants and basis consultants. For that purpose, I am going to give you some tips, means I am going to give you the overview of these two modules also, so that it is easy for us to interact with the ABAP consultants and basis consultants. So these are the topics what we are going to cover in our training classes. Then here, what is the methodology of the training I will follow? I will explain each concept like this, with this much elaboration and with much details. Then I will show you the step-by-step configuration, means step-by-step setting I will show you. After doing the settings, I will show you posting the transactions. I will show you the output. Then I will show you how to generate the relevant reports. Then at the end of every topic, we have the sessions on questions and answers. This is the methodology of the training, right? Explaining the every concept, then showing you the step-by-step configuration. After configuration, I will post the transactions and I will show you the output. So from the output, I will show you the generating the reports. Then for every class, we have the questions and answer session. Then what are the materials I am going to provide you? I will provide the printed material for the step-by-step configuration. I will provide the printed material for the step-by-step transaction posting or transaction processing. Then I will provide the printed material for step-by-step report generation. I will show you all these materials now. Then I will send you the interview questions, certification questions and answers, etc., etc. So thank you so much, right? Now I will show you the materials which I am going to send you in our classes. See here, every setting I will show you in the real-time SAP servers only. See, first we will log into the server. So how to log into the servers, etc., etc., I will cover in the next first class. See here, as I told you, first I will explain the concept. See, for example, first we have to prepare, or as a FI consultant, first we have to create enterprise structure. So what is the enterprise structure? These are the presentations. FI organizer structure. So here, what is company? What is company code? What is business areas? These three objects together are called organizational units in financial accounting. So as the FI consultant, first we have to create the company code and business areas. So what is the company? What is the company code? What is the business areas? I will explain with the help of this presentation, right? Then this presentation or this explanation is documented in another notes. See, what is company? What is company code? Then what is business area? What is fiscal year variant? What is chart of accounts? How many chart of accounts are there? Like that, I will explain every concept with the help of the presentation, right? And this explanation is documented in the Word notes, like this. Then I told you, as a FI consultant, we have to create the company. How to create a company? How to create company code? How to create business areas? These are called configuration settings. For the configuration settings also, I have prepared the material like this. See, creation of company. Path is SPRO. What is path? As I told you, I will explain you all these things in the next first class. How to log into the SAP servers, right? And what is the path, etc., etc. So here I'm just showing you how do we proceed in the classes, right? So we have to create a company. Creating this company, I will show you in the live server. And I will send you all these 3 types of materials for every module. Then you have to take the printout of this configuration settings material. You have to keep this material with you in every class. Now, see, I'm going to access the screen where the company is created. Path is SPRO. Just look at the screen. SPRO. Then after SPRO, we have enterprise structure, right? After SPRO, we have enterprise structure. This is called enterprise structure folder. Click on this. After enterprise structure, we have definition. Click on this. Then after definition, we have financial accounting. This is the financial accounting folder. Click on this. Then after financial accounting, we have defined company. Here we have the defined company here. Click on this. So after that, in your material, you have click on new entries. Click on new entries. So in order to create the company, we have to give some information in this screen. Say for example, we are going to create or we are going to configure the SAP software for GU group of companies. Then company is equal to GE1111. Then company name GU group of companies. Like that, I will be giving some information in every field, like country US, language EN, currency USD. So like that, in this screen, we create the company. To create the company, we have to provide this information in these fields. And all these fields I have documented in your material. See, company, company name, city, country, language, currency. So I will be telling you these words in the class and you have to write them in your material against this is equal to marks. And taking these as examples, you have to create these objects in the servers which are given to you access. I will provide you the server access also. And the server access is 24/7. So like that, I have developed all the configuration settings from the real-time point of view only. So these are called basic settings. Similarly, for the general ledger, this is the material which I will send it to you. These are the presentations. These are the presentations. Table of contents, chart of accounts, company code, general ledger process preview overview, master datas, account groups. Like that, for every module, I have prepared presentations. I will explain this. I will explain the concepts with the help of these presentations, right? Then again, in the general ledger, this is the notes or explanation documentation. How many types of data is there? And in the general ledger account, we have to maintain some fields. What is the impact of those fields, etc., etc. I will maintain. I will explain you, and that explanation is documented here. Then these are called configuration settings. Creation of GL master records, right? Display of GL account balances, posting of transactions, editing of GL account masters, blocking of GL accounts, then posting of transactions, then displaying of posted transactions, then display of account balances. Like that, for every configuration settings, I have prepared the material like this. Presentations, then documentation for explanation, then printed material for configuration settings. That's how I will send you all these 3 materials for every module. And all these classes will take 60 hours. All these classes will take 60 hours. I have the 2 formats of training, daily classes and weekend batches. So at any point of time, I have the 4 batches running on hand. Daily 2 batches and weekly 2 batches, right? So according to your convenience, you can join either daily batches or weekly batches, weekend batches. So daily 1 hour and it is 5-day week. So 60 hours means it will take 12 weeks. And if it is the weekend batch, on Saturday 2.5 hours and on Sunday 2.5 hours. Right? So even means every week also 5 hours. So it is also 12 weeks. Now after the course, I will send you the project material, because in the real-time projects we have to prepare a lot of documentation. This is the project material which I send it to you. See, this is the project material. So I have prepared number of documentation from the real-time projects. These are very helpful for you to do the job in the real time, right? Then these are called business blueprints. CO blueprint, FI blueprint. So blueprint is the document prepared by the consultant on the basis of which the consultant will develop the configuration settings, right? So all these things I will send you, and at the end of the course I will send you the certification materials, certification questions and answers, then interview questions and answers, and the sample resumes. This is how I will help the students in getting the job, right? And if you like to join the class, right, you can just contact me at my mail ID saplakshman@yahoo.com, or you can reach me on my mobile 95508140111, India, right? So we can proceed further. Thank you so much, right? I hope you have enjoyed the class. For further details, you can contact me either through this mail or you can directly call me on this mobile. Thank you so much once again. I hope I hear from you soon. Thank you once again.